My topic is about the Boston Tea Party, in which the colonists went against British rule, in which they stormed British ships and dumped 342 crates of tea into the British harbor. So who was involved? It was the Patriots, the radical group of the colonists, in which they went against British rule and tried to went on Boston ships and dumped the crates of tea in the harbor to go against British rule. What they did, like I said, 342 crates were dumped in the harbor. Where? Happened in Boston, in the Boston Harbor. When? 1773, December. Why? It was in response to the British taxes, in which they were taking too much charge and ruling the colonists since they were from Britain, which was like really far away from the America, in which the people thought they should not have that much power and they were being taxed heavily, so they decided to rebel. And then how this happened through like planning, in which the Patriots got together and had enough of the British and decided to act towards it. So in the past, I've also researched this during my past years, and also I've done some research, looked a lot of primary, secondary sources, and so here are my sources right now. Some example of my sources. Right here is a primary source of the actual document, and then you can actually read it also. It's a petition for the resignation of tea, in which they describe how they should get rid of the Tea Act, and they formally try to protest against it before making this act, since this was obviously declined, but describes their viewpoints on it and how much they disliked it. Then this is in the newspaper during the time, and here's the text for it. It pretty much describes how a report of what happened, in which they described 342 chests of tea in the sea, and it's just like a newspaper resort, so it just like states the facts of what happened and that they were shocked that it did. And here's like another primary source, in which it has a lot of like sources, like for example, has like drawings, pictures, the maps of what happened. In addition, it has like this source right here, in which it describes how they had a meeting, also a different meeting to talk about why the tea should be not taxed and like how to act towards it. And my other source is like one of the cartoons here, which it describes how like this. I also wanted to see like the aftermath a little bit of what happened. So this is a little less than a year afterwards, in which it described how Britain was infuriated by it, in which they tried to put more acts and try to block to like punish the British for acting the way it did. So it looks pretty unfair. It's that even though they're all far away, that the British decided to lock them up. Another source I used was Thomas Paine, Common Sense. There's an official one, obviously, but this is a lot easier to read, in which it describes how the exact source about how people it felt like common sense to rebel, since a lot of their basic rights were being taken away, and that the British had too much rule. And my final source is this right here, which it talks about the crisis a little bit more in detail. And then my two research questions I was thinking about were how did the British or how did the British react towards this, and then what events led to in what way were the Patriots blamed for the start of the Boston Tea Party. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you.